good morning, everyone. I am happy to tell you that the Demuth Wilson ticket has just filed for the primary. Our intent is to take that message that we have been talking about the entire time we entered the race and make sure that Minnesotans are given a fair chance to put a Republican to finally defeat Amy Klobuchar on the ballot. We have heard across the state those issues that are important, the issues of affordability, our education for our kids, making sure that there's a business economy that can grow and thrive here, lowering our taxes so Minnesota once again is affordable, and above all, ending fraud here in the state of Minnesota. That is, yes. That is what we have been talking about and bringing across the state. That is not just our message for Ryan and myself. That is what Minnesotans have been asking for. 8 years of the Qualls administration will not be good for Minnesota if it is just another third term with Amy Klobuchar coming in. With that, we are going to be here and take questions. We look forward to hearing from all of you. I want Ryan to say just a few words, and then we'll both step back and take questions. Ryan?
Thank you. We're excited to be here today. We're excited because Minnesota is worth fighting for. Minnesota is worth saving, and we are going to do that this fall. We are going to take it to Amy Klobuchar, and we're going to win back Minnesota.
Yes.
So we're excited, and any questions you guys want to take?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll open it up.
Madam Speaker, what was your number one factor in going to this primary?
The number one factor was the fact that yesterday, as the state party chair came out with a message saying that there were enough anomalies that no one was going to be held to that endorsement because of the process that took place on Saturday. That felt like a full release that we could go forward. We fully know that Minnesotans know we are the strongest ticket to defeat the Democrat machine here in Minnesota. I, as you well know, am a proven fighter and a tested and proven winner also for Minnesota. This was a perfect opportunity to make that decision and go forward.
Speaker David, it wasn't like Kendall Qualls won by 3 votes, right? I mean, they said the clickers were back. He eventually crosses that 60% threshold. There was a bit of a margin of error there. You really think that the clickers were off by that much, that you weren't endorsed, or that you would have been endorsed otherwise?
There were enough questions as we went through the entire convention that were brought up. And again, just to make sure all of you know, our team did not bring this to the state party. The state party pulled our team and the other campaign back and said, spread everything out, said, we have a problem. So regardless of that, if you remember all the way back to February, here we are, beautiful June 2nd in Minnesota, sunny, perfect day here in Minnesota. But if you remember back to February with the precinct caucuses, we handily took the first position in that statewide straw poll that was taken. We know we have heard from Minnesotans, and let me tell you, since Saturday afternoon and evening, all the way through, Ryan and I, our phones have absolutely been blowing up. We are hearing from Minnesotans that are saying, go forward in this, we need you, and that's what has made our decision. We felt that full release again by the state party chair.
Obviously, you're not following that pledge by continuing this race. I mean, do you think that going forward, other candidates should follow that pledge, or is this just enough of an anomaly for you to say, we're going to stay in this race right now?
We fully expected when we agreed to abide by the endorsement that process would be fair, that process would actually be full of integrity. That was brought into question. Again, we feel that full release. Our eyes right now, obviously, August 11th, the primary makes a lot of difference here. That's going to give Minnesotans that voice to make a true change. Our eyes are on November. We'll win that. We will win that primary, and our eyes are on November.
Do you think that pledge should stick around then for other candidates?
As far as we look, no matter what, we have been released by the state party, and that is a decision that every campaign will need to make. Other questions?
With Senator Klobuchar on the ballot, do you think it's important to have a woman going forward for Republicans, especially in light of the comment from Kendall Qualls at the convention saying the boys are back in town?
So, Mary, you know I am not identity politics. We have worked together in this capacity long enough. The best qualified candidate is the one that Minnesotans will choose. I am the best qualified Republican candidate, no matter what, for any man any place, any party to continue to hold women down is wrong. I am the best qualified candidate, and I happen to be, I feel like we've said this multiple times, I happen to be a woman. If you want me to go there early, a black woman, is that helping so you don't have to ask the next question? That will be historic. Either way, I'm the best qualified. I'm ready to lead the state of Minnesota and get us back in track, make us stronger and better than when we find ourselves today.
Kendall Qualls cast you as an establishment candidate at the convention. I wonder how you respond to that.
I come in with the experience that is desperately needed here in the state of Minnesota. I have been in the legislature just 4 terms, very short period of time when you consider my eventual opponent, who will be Amy Klobuchar, a career politician. I look at myself as bringing in the necessary experience to get us on the right track. Now, my running mate, Ryan Wilson, has not yet served as an elected official. So what I will say is you get the best of both worlds with a Demuth Wilson ticket, someone that has the necessary experience, and then someone that has not yet served as an elected official, and we will be able to serve this state and lead us well.
Speaker David, what is your pitch to President Trump for an endorsement over Mike Lindell?
I am looking at my experience. Obviously, I don't know what endorsements may be coming. I did receive an endorsement from MCCL before the convention. We are working very hard to make sure that anyone that chooses to endorse knows my full record, the things I have already been able to do for Minnesota, and the things that are yet to be done.
Madam Speaker, we're going to a primary in the 2 highest profile statewide races. How much value does the endorsement still hold?
I think Minnesotans are really welcoming this opportunity, although unexpected, to have a voice in the process. As you know, the conventions have just a few thousand people in both major parties. This gives the opportunity for all Minnesotans on August 11th to weigh in and really make their voices and votes heard.
Should that happen in all races?
I think we will absolutely look back at this primary and then going on to how that turns out. Decisions will be made later by the parties, I'm sure.
As a state that does both endorsements and primaries here in Minnesota, do you still believe that the endorsement process holds some value here in the state?
I think Minnesotans want to be heard, and I have always valued the grassroots and the ability to weigh in and to be a part of it. Again, we saw a system that broke down over the weekend, and so although grassroots matters very much, I think there's going to be many people on both sides of the aisle potentially looking at the process for Minnesota.
Speaker David, as you got into the later ballots, and you're talking about you have election integrity concerns, party of election integrity, Mike Lindell's supporters were out with signs that said Mike is right, Mike was right. It sort of seemed like you were trying to appeal to some of his voters who have concerns about the 2020 election results. Do you think that those are rigged?
I actually was talking about Saturday and the confusion that was happening with the tools that were being used by the party. And so when I saw those tools have continuous problems going forward and there couldn't be audits to know what votes had registered on individual clickers, that was what I was speaking about, is we have to make sure that as we were doing the process Saturday, that there was confidence in the tools that had been put in place. Any other questions?
What about the moment of silence for Derek Chauvin? Yesterday, Kendall Qualls said it wasn't his choice. How did you feel about that moment? What would you have to say?
I actually was not on the convention floor at the time, so I was hearing much later on things. What I would say though is moments of silence typically have always, when I think of fallen officers and first responders, I think back just 2 years ago. To the Burnsville tragedy. I think just 2 years ago to Jamal Mitchell in Minneapolis. That is what I typically would think of at that time.
Did you think it was appropriate, and would you pardon him if that were to come to your desk?
Again, I wasn't on the floor. You know, the ability for a governor to do any type of pardons, obviously there's a pardon board. There's a lot that goes into any type of decision.
Can you talk about the next several months, what you're going to be doing to campaign?
I would love to. As you well know, we finished our session in the legislature on time, and we got that work done just 2 weeks ago, maybe. I'm not sure. The next few weeks, Ryan and I have been talking along with our team. We have a very good established grassroots team that has gotten us to this point. We are going to continue to build on that. We have been all over the state multiple times. This gives us that opportunity to go further in that, making sure that all Minnesotans continually know Demuth Wilson and what is at stake for Minnesota and what we can actually bring and do. So our days are going to be very, very full, but instead of doing full-time legislating and then full-time in campaigning, I have that full-time responsibility of campaigning right now since we're out of session.
Speaker, were you surprised that Mike Lindell and Philip Parrish joined forces, and any comment on that?
I think as we look at the candidates that came out this year on the Republican side, there were a number of people that just wanted to make a difference, and they weren't all going to get over the finish line. And so I would say at this point, nothing surprises me.
Have you heard from some donors and some business leaders that were maybe sitting out and waiting to see if you were going to get in and have now pledged either money or support?
Ryan and I have heard from many people across the state that were both with us and maybe we're sitting there, and we have heard, I would say, hundreds of messages, phone calls that have gone on in the last few hours saying, we need you, we're in, we're all in. And we know the last reporting, even going into the convention, our team had the highest cash on hand than all of the other candidates combined. Obviously, you know, this is something that takes effort, it takes money, it takes time, and so we are well positioned to defeat the DFL machine here in the state of Minnesota. Much more well positioned financially and going forward than any other candidate.
In addition to the campaign logistics, what are going to be the main issues that you will try to separate yourself from your competitors
Yeah, do you want to
in a
take that?
Republican primary?
Yeah, you know, when you look at it, no other Republican candidate for governor has any experience in the legislature and leading a state. I have proven leadership that, yes, I can unify Republicans and keep people together and eye on what needs to be done. So I have the experience, but just the ability to have a process that works well. I had announced Ryan joining my team. I had a one short list. I had Ryan Wilson on that. He graciously said, yes, I would love to join the team. And so we've come out as a unified front. What you've seen from every other candidate is either they don't know who their lieutenant governor is, or maybe they have picked unwisely and now they were even trying to make changes. So we are a unified team ready to lead the state day one. Those issues, maybe some of our beliefs across the board, and I had said this at the convention, our beliefs may not be that different when you really get down to it, but the winning and ability to lead are, and I'm the only one with that experience that can do that.
Is fraud going to be the number one issue, or is it education, is it guns? What specific issue?
You know, I would say all of the above because of fraud and what we've experienced here in the state of Minnesota. It is because of me and my leadership and being able to lead through a tie that we had the fraud committee and we were able to draw attention, national attention to the level of fraud here in the state of Minnesota. Of course, that's an issue of affordability. Minnesotans are tired of having their tax dollars stolen, so fraud is a big issue. And when you also look at that, the issues of making sure businesses aren't burdened by the mandates that have been put on our businesses. Only half of our kids can read at grade level, and that is a disappointment, and it is absolute disrespect to the families that need to have, first of all, an ability to choose the best type of education for their kids. We have not yet opted into the scholarship granting organization, a $1,700 federal tax credit that could go to help students in public schools overall, in addition to private. Governor Qualls has pushed back. The Democrats in the legislature pushed back on that. There are many things we can do, but that's what's going to help us be that standout and focus where Minnesotans know Demuth Wilson can be trusted.
Do you want or expect the president will weigh in this primary race?
We have no idea what to expect, but we know that we are the best ones to lead and win in the primary and beat Klobuchar in November. Do you want to add anything?
Oh, I think back to your question. I mean, our goal is going to be to prosecute the case against Amy Klobuchar and how she has sat on the sidelines for 20 years and delivered no large wins for Minnesota. She sat there and was silent on fraud while it was happening and growing and expanding. And this isn't just about taxpayer dollars. It's about the people that needed those programs to get help. And that those, and you heard me say this on the convention floor when we talked about Lisa's story, those are real people that need that, and real people that are getting hurt, and those stories are tragic. So when we're running, we're not just running for the taxpayers, we're not just running for all of Minnesota, but running for the families that are hurt by the Democrats' carelessness when it comes to running our state.
Well said. Well said. All right, any other questions? Otherwise, thank you for being here. We are excited about going forward, and stay tuned even throughout the afternoon. Thank you very much.